You know what's funny about Dolph Ziggler?
Nothing.
Everybody laughed whenever Dolph Ziggler said he wanted to be a comedian. Well, no one's laughing now.
Welcome to the Wrestle Factor Podcast. My name is Josh. With me is my brother, Jay.
What is up?
How y'all doing tonight? I can't do that. Anyway.
What was that anyway?
I'm just winging it, dude. Just winging it. I'm trying a new character. It is wrestling after all.
Just wanging it.
Just wanging it.
Jimmy Wang Yang.
Reminds me of Billy Ray Cyrus for some reason. I don't want that in my head.
Mullet.
I know we're supposed to be doing our job right now, but I was at work the other day. It's kind of like just naturally coming out now, that accent.
Yeah.
I was at work the other day. It was yesterday, actually. And I saw this guy in the store. He had the longest mullet I've ever seen in my life. Like, his hair up front was short. Like, business in the front.
All the business.
All the business in the front. And it was definitely a party in the back. Like, it was down to, like, it was past his shoulders.
Ugh.
Like, you know where your shoulder blades stick out in the back?
Yeah.
It was down to there.
You know,
And it was greasy and dirty.
Speaking of mullets, honestly, Samoa Joe is kind of rocking a mullet nowadays.
I don't know if I would say rocking a mullet.
He's kind of got a mullet going on.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, and I kind of wish he would cut his hair.
Yeah. Oh, teach their own. He's on TV, at least.
At least he's on TV, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, down to business. We're here to talk about some wrestling. We're here to talk about Stomping Grounds. I'm not saying the tagline because I'm sick of hearing it. But anyway.
You could take the names of all the people that have said that tagline.
Yeah. We're just going to talk about what they did in Raw and Smackdown and kind of build towards it. What we liked this week, what we didn't like this week.
Which there was actually some stuff to like this week.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
After that, we'll get on to the Fantasy League points. Second to last week. And then we're going to end the show with our predictions for Stomping Grounds. We were originally supposed to do a whole separate video, but I totally forgot until right before that we were doing that, so I wasn't prepared.
Cards subject to change.
Yeah, I was just kind of busy doing a lot of Fantasy League stuff today, like writing down new ideas, getting the template ready for Season 2. I kind of just forgot about doing Stomping Grounds predictions, but...
And I was just a little busy with my job.
Yeah.
So
it's... we're kind of like really pressed for time to get this done, so...
Let's get into it.
I do think Raw was a lot better this week.
Definitely.
At least comparatively, I thought it was a lot better than the last 2 or 3 weeks for sure. Anything since the build to Super Showdown, at least.
Not starting off with a half-hour-long promo.
That was
a fantastic start.
That was the first thing I noticed, is how quick that first segment with Elias and Seth was.
Yeah.
It was like NXT short.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah, I liked it.
Plus, leading into the match, which, the 5-way to decide the U.S. title #1 contender. It was shorter than I like, but it was still a good match overall.
Yeah.
I thought it was booked well.
Mm-hmm.
Using Cesaro and Lashley to try and help get Strowman out of there. That way it's not just, like, oh, Strowman's in this matchup, he's going to win.
I kind of figured Strowman might win it, but that was a nice little, I guess, detour there, because Ricochet is the #1 contender.
Ricochet versus Samoa Joe.
Ricochet versus Joe.
Should be good.
Yeah.
We'll see that.
What else happened on Raw this week? Let me run to my notes real quick.
There was both less Shane McMahon. He was just kind of spread out through more of the show. It wasn't just his, usual half-hour-long celebration.
It was like Shane peppered throughout Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't too bad.
I still wish there was less of him.
Yes. I mean, I don't mind because it's getting me some Fantasy League points, which is, helping me stay in the running.
Yeah.
But, once the season's over, after this Sunday, I'm definitely not going to care as much.
Right. Change is coming. But on top of the opening segment being really short, I like Seth also showed like this new, I don't know if this is going to be like a permanent character change going forward, but he was attacking anyone that could potentially be the special guest referee at Stomping Grounds. He would go, just beating them down with chairs. Kind of send a message to Corbin like, you're not going to get who you want to be this referee.
Yeah.
And I really liked this aggressive side to his character. And I also like that it got me a lot of points this week.
Yeah.
But, yeah. There's really nothing else to say about that, I guess. But
who do you think will be the special guest referee at this point?
I've heard Shane, but Shane isn't really involved with either of them. He
could be.
He is in a way connected with Baron because they do have a lot of the same mid-carders, like, fighting alongside them. But as far as I know, he hasn't really dealt directly with Baron, let alone Seth.
Yeah.
So I guess it could be Shane, but probably would be someone else that we've forgotten about.
Probably.
I don't know at this point, but
we'll see.
It's probably going to be underwhelming to find out, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, the match itself will probably be underwhelming because it's it's Baron Corbin.
Which Baron Corbin actually, like, he has a good moveset.
Yeah.
I like his I love when he hits the deep six.
Oh yeah.
Love that one. I like he does that thing where he like runs around the ring. He dives outside, runs around the ring post, and gets back in. A little convoluted, but it's cool to watch.
I used to like that, but commentary has made it terrible. It's like, oh, look at Baron Corbin's speed. Like, yeah, it's kind of quick.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about how much time it takes for him to slide out of the ring, swing around a post, and just jump back in the ring, it's like,
if you get hit with
why didn't you just stay? Why didn't you just stay in the ring?
Yeah.
It's like, honestly.
Similarly, when Dean Ambrose used to do his clothesline thing where he would bounce off the ropes and come back in, like, if you were dumb enough to wait that long to get hit, you deserved it.
You mean the wacky line?
It makes me cringe to say that. The wacky line.
But, it's just too bad that, Dean Ambrose is dead now. But,
for a second I was like, he's not dead? What are you talking about?
I mean, Dean Ambrose.
The character is dead.
But there's this John Moxley guy that looks very similar to him.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I wonder if he's any good.
Yeah, I don't, he just came out of nowhere.
I heard something about this place called AEW.
AEW? Yeah, I'm probably have to check it out at some point.
Some backyard wrestling promotion. Probably a t-shirt company. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something.
We'll see. Anyway. Hope they got a lot of funding for that. So.
Yeah.
The other bit that I liked, before my favorite bit, we'll get to that in just a second.
Oh, yeah.
They showed Gallows and Anderson on Raw this week. Haven't seen them in a while. Missed the Good Boys. The Good Brothers. Yeah, not the Good Boys. Sorry.
Just them good old boys.
There was a bit with AJ Styles. They were all just talking backstage. They tried to be, their goofy selves or whatever. AJ was like, I'm kind of tired of seeing this. Like, show me your serious side. Show me that you can actually beat someone.
Yeah.
He addressed their complacency, quote unquote complacency. It's all the booking.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like they could be, raising, a little bit to try and get something going on.
Yeah. They had a match with the Usos, which it could have gone longer, but it was decent length. And my only negative thing to say is that they lost the match. I really think if they were going to put them over this way, they should have won.
Well, something I kind of think about it is, AJ's trying to be like, you need to stop with all the goofy stuff and start getting serious. And, that's not going to be just an overnight thing. Or just, you guys need to get serious, and then 10 minutes later, they're beating everybody.
Right.
I feel like this is something that they're going
to But they were so determined to go out there and show that they could do it, and then they lost.
Well, yeah. But, if they just win, it's like, oh, yeah, we're good, so we don't have to worry about this. But if they lose, but, AJ's still, getting onto them, I think it's something that they can continue to build on. Right.
If this is something they plan to build out over a few weeks, then I will get over it for sure.
Yeah.
But with WWE's notorious way of booking things 1 week at a time.
I just wish I could have seen it at all, though. Cause,
got cut from Hulu.
Yep. My favorite wrestler, and I didn't get to see him.
The segment was hardly even about him anyway.
It's still, he was involved. He was on the show. Yeah. But yeah.
I also noticed that they referenced Michael Cole made a reference to them being the IWGP Tag Champions. And I just thought it was cool for them to reference a title outside the company for once.
Yeah.
They do it once in a while, but I feel like them actually showing their accolades before WWE helped put them over a little bit. So maybe they will build on it for a couple weeks. We'll see.
It's possible.
I would like to see Gallows and Anderson versus the Revival for the tag titles. That'd be cool. They could win.
Yeah.
They've been tag champs before, so.
Well, would be pretty good.
Yeah. What else happened?
The main event, aside from the screwy DQ finish halfway through, was a great little match between Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
I think if they hadn't done the screwy finish just to restart the match and they had more time to tell an overall story, it would have been fantastic. But for what it was a good little match.
Yeah.
It was something that was actually hyped throughout the show, I feel like. There was cards telling that it was going to be the, later on in the show, Daniel Bryan comes out and cuts a promo, Seth talks about it. Like, it was actually built up.
And they mentioned a few times that Rollins had never beaten Bryan before in the WWE.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a little bit of foreshadowing.
Well, yeah. It kind of makes it obvious at that point who's going to win. Especially when you got, your world champion and and you're saying that.
Yeah.
Which I've heard some people complain as you could have built this storyline up as that, and had it go to pay-per-views or whatever. It's yeah, you could. But at the same time, it's WWE. Just enjoy the fact that you have Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. And It has some time. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just think about where Raw has been the past few weeks and the fact that they were smart enough to give us that, at least.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite part of Raw this week?
Undoubtedly, it was Firefly Funhouse, as it has been the last 8 weeks. I would say this is my second favorite one so far. It was only second to the one where they initially showed The Fiend. This one went a bit longer, and I mean, it was just pretty chaotic. I think they did a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Distorted, imagery and everything. The different genres playing the Muscle Man dance song.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It was a nice touch. It wasn't so much about the skit in the Firefly Funhouse. It was the editing towards the end, kind of revealing the Fiend again.
Yeah.
All the characters are on the same side now. I don't know if that is going to play into much, but I don't know. I just really enjoy this bit now.
I'm ready to see it in action. Not even necessarily a match. I just want to see Bray Wyatt live.
Yes.
I want to see that crowd reaction.
Yeah.
Whenever, he finally comes back.
And for the love of God, please don't do this thing where they're Bray Wyatt is live next. Because that's going to kill all the mystique.
Yeah.
I feel like this really needs to be a surprise thing. We know he's coming, but when is it? And then he shows up.
Honestly, during the segment, when it cut a couple times, I thought he was just going to pop up on the stage or something as the Fiend.
In the ring, yeah.
I thought that would have been pretty cool. Just to get an actual glimpse of it, but
yeah, I think they're going to, obviously they're going to have to. They were planning on waiting until after Stomping Grounds.
Yeah.
So they can, I don't know, maybe start building it towards Extreme Rules or something.
Ironic to say that, there's so much going on that, he would kind of just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
There's so much of so little going on, but
yeah. There was one more thing I liked about this week that I want to talk about, just briefly. It wasn't as good as Firefly Funhouse, but a lot of people hate on the Moment of Bliss segments. I typically kind of like them, but I thought this week was really good in particular.
Yeah.
I just felt like Alexa and Bayley were actually going at each other. They actually had a few good insults. And it actually felt like they were trying to hype a match and a feud between the two.
And they referenced NXT.
Yes.
However, slightly.
Slightly.
They did.
Yeah.
They didn't, recognize that, Bayley was a champion or anything, but still they said the, the letters.
I feel like if they had done that, then Bayley would have come back with saying, well, you were never NXT champion.
But they can't say that. Because in the the main roster terms, nobody was.
Yeah.
Because they don't recognize it.
Well, Eric and Ivar, Rowan Hansen,
which
were NXT tag team champs when they debuted on Raw and were for 3 or 4 weeks. Never once brought the belts out on Raw. They don't acknowledge when you're an NXT champ.
I mean, Kevin Owens debuted as NXT champion with the belt.
But he had the belt at the time.
Yeah, he had the belt. Which, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why just that one occasion?
I don't know. I don't know what their problem is with, like, making people forget about their NXT history.
Her Paige was the NXT Women's Champion whenever she debuted.
When she won the Divas title. And she had to relinquish it because William Regal said it's not fair for you to hold both those titles.
Yeah, which, like, that makes sense. Or whatever, but at the same time...
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, me neither.
Because NXT was still, like, fairly new with its new format, or the format it's at now.
I think they had the one TakeOver special.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, it wasn't even TakeOver.
It was the first one.
It was, like, the very first. It was the first live event on WWE Network, actually. I remember them kind of spouting about that for a while.
Yeah. But anyway. No, my whole point was I liked Moment of Bliss a lot this week.
Yeah.
But it actually felt like they were building a feud between the two.
Yeah.
So...
It's crazy how you have to, move people around so much. Because, like, apparently there was no real big female heels on SmackDown besides Charlotte. So.
But she hasn't been on in a couple of weeks, so.
And that's the thing. Alexa Bliss isn't even a part of SmackDown. She's technically a wild card in all of this.
Yeah. Brand split. Haha.
Anyway.
Now that we've praised the shows this week, let's talk about a couple of things that I had a real distaste for. The first of which being the obnoxious Stomping Grounds tagline they felt the need to say every 5 minutes and in every promo.
Ugh.
Okay. My main issue with this, I understand that they are trying to build a show.
Yes.
The show does not have to have a tagline, by the way. They're not going to increase ticket sales on a tagline.
They'll be lucky if they even do this pay-per-view ever again.
I've heard the ticket sales are pretty poor for it, actually. But anyway. Nobody was saying this tagline before the build to Stomping Grounds. And now everyone is saying it. Which makes it very, I guess, fake. Like, it's obviously a thing that they were told to go out there and say.
Well, because Michael Cole says it every time.
And Tom Phillips says it. Yeah.
Because it's just a tagline. And
they even made Drew McIntyre say it in his promo.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous.
I wouldn't have a problem with that line itself as if it was like a spontaneous thing, like a one-off, whatever. But you're getting 3 or 4 people saying it in their promos on each show, on top of commentary saying it every time they promote the show.
Almost multiple times in a single promo.
It just, whenever... That's one of WWE's biggest flaws, I think, is they will take a catchphrase or a tagline or something, and they will repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and it loses all its meaning and all its effect.
Yep.
And I don't care to see it anymore.
Yep.
Like...
You can almost see it coming sometimes.
When Roman Reigns was first pushed after the Shield broke up, he was on both shows multiple times a show. And I got sick to death of seeing Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns. But when I have to see him 9 times in a week, that's too much Roman Reigns. That's too much anybody.
Pretty much.
Right now it's too much Shane McMahon.
Oh, definitely.
It's
too much Shane McMahon... And just by transitive, it's too much like McIntyre and Revival and Elias.
And I don't know if they just think kids are stupid or something, and they all have ADHD or something. I don't know. But please stop repeating everything.
Yes. SmackDown is not just a copy and paste show.
Well, it is, but it needs to not be.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be. Or, it shouldn't be, but it is.
Anyway, my other thing that I wanted to say was... during Shane and Miz's promo on SmackDown, I believe it was SmackDown, Miz addressed Shane when he initially took over as commissioner for SmackDown, he said that SmackDown was the land of opportunities. Now Shane is taking all the airtime away from all the other wrestlers, taking all the opportunities. And while I did agree with him, and I like that he said it, this is classic WWE, where they address the grievances of the fans, something they have a problem with. They do it to get a big pop, and they don't change it.
Pretty much.
think of the last 2 or 3 times they hit the reset button this last half a year, where they, all the McMahons came out, said they were going to let you be the authority.
There's going to be no authority figures. Yay. There's going to be women's tag team belts. Yay.
And they come out and promise this change, or they like acknowledge the stuff that they know you have a problem with, and then they don't actually change anything. In 2 weeks, it'll be back to Vince McMahon and his, spur of the moment booking. So cool that you addressed it. Cool for the pop, but I don't believe you actually are going to do anything.
I feel like it's one of two things, and it's basically the same. But either WWE just can't remember anything, or they think that we can't remember anything.
I don't know which it is, but...
It's like they'll say something, hoping that'll just kind of make everyone happy for a little while. But either they forget that they said it, and then they just go back to their normal thing, or they'll hope that we'll forget it. It's like, we understand you guys have some frustrations. We're acknowledging them. Are you happy now? And then
it's like, no, because I want you to actually do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, sooner or later, they're going to have to. Now,
No, they don't.
Well, talking about AEW, and the fact, it's like, they're saying that they're not competition and whatever, but...
It will be
once they go to weekly television and there's a 2-hour live program that far surpasses the quality of WWE, then it's going to be competition, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. But they are absolutely going to have to change that.
You're going to be stuck with a fan base that is primarily children,
exactly,
people that don't actually care about your product, and the parents that have to deal with watching this on a weekly basis because their kids like it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a product for adults anymore. It's already been heading that way for years.
Which, if you don't want it to be a product for adults, then fine. But acknowledge that. Because that's what, AEW is more focusing on, is that 18 to 34 demographic where it's like,
The thing is, you can make it a PG product and still appealing to adults.
Yeah.
I'm 25 and I still enjoy watching WWE.
There's still plenty of stuff.
NXT is still PG, but it still has that, I wouldn't say attitude era feel, but like it still feels like it wasn't designed specifically for children to be able to enjoy.
Yeah.
Like it's just all about wrestling and action in the ring and building feuds. Like the main roster can be that, but you're not letting it.
Pretty much. I don't know.
Maybe that's why they repeat stuff all the time, is because the casual fans, they don't tune in every week, so they have to be reminded of something every 2 or 3 weeks that they watch the show. I don't know.
There's a point of reminding people, but then there's also just overkill. Like, do you really need to replay your opening promo segment like 4 or 5 times throughout the show?
No.
Exactly. It's like...
Okay. I feel a little better now.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I mean, it wouldn't be a WWE podcast if you didn't complain a little bit, right?
I feel like I have to make myself feel a little better. But we're going to go over the Fantasy League points for this week.
Yay!
And these are the last points before Stomping Grounds. Stomping Grounds will be the last set of points for Season 1. And then it will pick back up at SummerSlam, hopefully.
Hopefully.
It should. There's
really much more simplified.
Unless we just kind of decide we don't want to do anymore, which I still want to.
Yeah.
Then it will continue at SummerSlam.
We're hoping to start it back up again. If not, the podcast will, still be a thing.
Yes. So, as usual, we'll go through the top 15. There's a big tie, actually. I changed my chart up, so now the numbers are throwing me off again. I had like an extra row. Normally I had to do the top 15, but it wasn't just 1 through 15 on the rows. I had another row, so now it's throwing me off again. And with it being a tie, I have to remember where that tie starts. 12th place. Starts in 12th with a 5-way tie. We have Dash Wilder, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Lars Sullivan, and Scott Dawson, all tied at 56 points. 11th place is Xavier Woods with 60. 10th place is Baron Corbin with 62. 9th is Elias with 68. 8th place is Drew McIntyre with 73. Roman Reigns is in 7th with 82. R-Truth is in 6th with 89. 5th place is Bayley with 90. 4th place is Shane McMahon with 93. He just kind of like has skyrocketed through those points.
He's there.
And as usual, 3rd place, Becky Lynch with 116. Wait, wasn't Becky in 2nd last week?
Probably.
She was, yeah. Seth Rollins got to number 2 and earned the most points out of anyone this week with 41.
Mm-hmm.
He got to 149. And Kofi Kingston is still holding strong at number 1 with 207 points total. For you, it's 178.
Unfortunately.
Because of Money in the Bank. Still number 1, though.
Yeah. I mean, even if I still had all of Kofi's points,
Right. Actually, if you had all of Kofi's points, you'd be a lot closer.
I mean, I would be closer. But...
So Jay is sitting at 1,083 points total. And I am at 1,127. Difference of 44 points. And Stomping Grounds could change it all.
Could.
It could.
But,
Speaking of Stomping Grounds... Segue. Stomping Grounds predictions time. Let me pull up the match card here. We're just kind of going to briefly run down each of these. I'm going to save the world title matches for the end.
Yeah.
But let's start off with the Raw Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. Who do you have and why?
Well,
I've got my pick. I'm not going to change. Oh, this is a tough one, dude.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, I feel like Lacey Evans wins by default, because how can a man be women's champion?
Huh.
No. Picking Becky Lynch, obviously.
I am going for Becky Lynch as well.
Yeah. I feel like there's not really much explanation there.
Yeah, I just really don't see Evans needing to be champion right now. I don't see her legitimately beating Becky.
No.
Unless it's by some sort of interference, which they love to do. I think Becky's going to retain. Next, the United States Championship. Samoa Joe versus Ricochet. I'll go ahead and go first this time. Considering there's been no actual build for this title whatsoever, the two people that are fighting for it have had no altercation with the exception of the ending of Ricochet's match on Raw this week.
Yeah, until they found out they were opponents.
And 2 weeks ago, he was just handed the title back from Rey Mysterio. It's really just a coin toss at this point.
Pretty much.
So,
well, you could look at the Rey thing as I don't think that was supposed to happen, but at the same time it did, and
right.
You could say it's lucky or unlucky that Rey got injured.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
am going to pick Ricochet. Just because. Who you got?
I'm going to go for Ricochet as well.
You're not doing much to...
Well, like we just said,
Oh, you know what I forgot? What we do with Money in the Bank, where we had an extra prediction for the show. I forgot to think of one. I'll try and think of something by the time we get to the end.
Maybe.
If not, we can just think and I'll cut out all the dead air.
Well, we'll predict the special guest referee.
We can do that. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. Next is the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Who do you have?
I'm going to go for Bayley.
Bayley?
I feel like this is a rare time where it's not Charlotte as champion, and so they're actually going to try and build somebody up a little bit. And once again, Alexa Bliss is on Raw, so
I very much want to go for Alexa just because A, I like her more, and B, I want to change up the predictions, keep them different. Also, they have been building a lot that Alexa is strictly a Raw superstar, so wouldn't it be a slap in the face for her to win the SmackDown title?
Yeah.
But also, once Becky is done with Lacey, who else really is there? You've got Natalya and Naomi and Tamina, but they haven't done anything for any of those three lately. I don't feel like they're real like title contenders. Unless you want to bring back some of the Riot Squad. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Maybe they could do that.
I think Ruby is still out with an injury of some sort.
I didn't know she was injured.
Yeah, I think it's a shoulder injury she's recovering from.
Just to mix it up, I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss.
Yay. Hopefully you're wrong.
Just because. If we pick the same thing on every match, then I'm going to win. Like, there's no...
It'll come down to the special prediction.
Yeah. Next is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery. And I believe it's my pick this time. I've got Bryan and Rowan to retain.
Well, of course. Why would you go against the planet's champions?
Well, I also don't really see how Heavy Machinery is better than them at this point.
No. They're, like they proved on SmackDown, like, when even Bryan said it, is like whenever they get into the ring and they get serious, like they're not bad.
Right.
But it's outside of all that like they don't like it. They don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
going for Bryan and Rowan.
Okay.
Plus, I got Dana Bryan on my roster, so I hope he retains.
That's another thing is skip that one. The Cruiserweight Championship. I feel like I have to sneeze. Hang on.
Don't do it.
Okay. Cruiserweight Championship Triple Threat. Tony Nese defending against Drew Gulak and Akira Tozawa. I know you don't watch the Cruiserweight stuff, but who do you got?
I've heard
some Gulak.
Gulak. Funny enough, I actually heard of some of the stuff that Drew Gulak has been doing recently, and apparently
NXT was pretty cool. Yeah,
it's pretty good. So I think I'm gonna go for Gulak.
Of course, that's who I was gonna pick.
Well, I picked first.
Just because he was featured in NXT
I picked first, so you're copying me.
That's fine. Yeah, I was gonna go with Gulak as well, just because of
mostly because Tony Nese, like, I don't know, as a good guy, it's not a good choice, and I don't know, like Tozawa's
already been champion, and there's just really nothing exciting about him to me.
I think they need a new, like, dominant heel champion.
Yeah,
it kind of replace
like how Buddy Murphy was.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I've watched 205 live the last couple of weeks because I wanted to like see if it was any good, and I do like it actually. It's not bad. There's a few wrestlers I don't care for. Like I don't care for Lucha House Party or the Singh Brothers, and coincidentally they had a match against each other this week.
So skip it all.
Very boring. But Drew Gulak has I like a lot of stuff he's been doing since I watched him in NXT against Kushida. Tony Nese is very good too, but I just remember him being a heel, and now he's babyface. So there's a whole gap.
I don't know how that went.
So yeah, I'm gonna pick Gulak because I've seen more of him lately.
Gabba Gulak.
Next we have the tag team match that was just announced on SmackDown. Xavier Woods and Big E versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Who do you got?
I want to be optimistic here. So I think I'm going to go for Owens and Zayn. Because, they keep losing between, the New Day or whomever they keep facing. So probably as the match that'll probably go on the kickoff.
Probably.
Maybe they'll pick up a win. Plus, once again, I got both of them on my roster.
Yeah.
So.
Just to change it up again, I'm going to go with Woods and Big E. Because they seem to be getting the better of Owens and Zayn lately. So, next up, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre in a WrestleMania rematch. Almost said meat match. It is also is a meat match. So
much.
God.
Yeah. I don't know who to go with on this, honestly. I would like McIntyre to win. I feel like that would be better for him, but at the same time, I don't see them doing that. I see I see McIntyre winning with more Shane interference.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't really see Drew beating Reigns clean. You picked the last 2 times, so I'll go first this time. And didn't Reigns win at WrestleMania?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre.
Did Roman stand tall at the end of SmackDown? Or Raw or what? Yeah, he was on SmackDown.
Yes, he did. He beat down everyone. Everyone. He beat down the Revival backstage, put Drew through a table, and then chased Shane out to ringside and hit him with Superman Punch.
Just for funsies. Let's go with Reigns.
Just for funsies.
Just for funsies.
Reigns just for funsies. I'm just kidding. I'm going to keep that in there. All right. 2 more matches. The world title matches. The WWE Championship Steel Cage match between Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler. Who do you got?
Do we really have to ask this question?
No.
If it was anybody else, or if this was a match that was a decade ago, maybe Dolph Ziggler.
I heard that Kofi and Dolph have had the most single matches out of any pair on WWE history.
Yeah. It's like 30.
Something like that.
Something close to
it's
that.
A lot. If someone had asked me who, I would have said Cena and Orton.
Yeah.
But
that's pay-per-view, though.
Doesn't matter. It's just singles matches.
Still.
So I think we're both going with Kofi.
Yeah.
Kofi to retain.
I think back to 6 years ago, whenever Dolph Ziggler came out and cashed in on Del Rio the night after WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. That was one of those few moments where I wasn't just a cynical wrestling fan and I actually got excited. And then I look at him nowadays and I'm like, can you just go away?
Yeah.
Like, why did you come back?
He never really found the right character.
It hasn't changed much.
No, it really hasn't. But like, he never really found something that truly fit him.
Like the show off worked for a while, but at the same
I
just
got
it's like
physically sick of like the show off. He would come out and swivel his hips and everything, and the bleach blonde hair. It just made me cringe sometimes.
Like the show off gimmick was pretty good, but whenever you lose all the time, it's like that. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Last match. Universal Championship. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. And I think we both know who we're going for this time as well.
Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
No.
Rollins to retain, for sure. Yeah. So our additional prediction
is who is the special guest referee for that match.
I definitely think it's going to be someone that hasn't been shown having any sort of interest in doing it. But I also think it's going to be very underwhelming when we find out who it is.
Lacey Evans. It's a woman, so Seth can't hit her. Plus, it will help continue the storyline with her and Becky Lynch. Because that needs to go on, right?
That's not a bad idea. Not the worst idea, I guess, but
yeah,
something you just pulled out of your butt there.
Well, I like to think it was my brain, but okay.
What's the difference?
All right, crap for brains.
I am just going to pick Shane McMahon. Because why wouldn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Who do you think?
Can we have like the Jeopardy music playing here?
I'll do it in post. Probably not.
I honestly don't know. I'm gonna go with Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans.
Why not? Why not?
That's probably as good a guess as any.
Why not? It'll probably just end up getting switched around and be like, I couldn't find anybody. We just need a regular official.
He's gonna announce that he's his own referee. Baron Corbin will be the referee for that match.
He will split into two. One will be a ref and one will be just him.
One will be the skin shell of Baron Corbin and one will be the meat innards.
He'll turn into his old scraggly hair self.
I'd rather see that.
Yeah.
I'd rather that be the actual Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
So those are our predictions for Stomping Grounds 2019, and that's all we have time for this week.
I predict that it'll be a terrible show.
I think you win.
Yeah.
Well, no, to be perfectly fair, the shows where people have a very, very low expectation, I feel like are the ones that do a lot better than we think they will.
This one is so low, though. It's like, this is a Fallout pay-per-view for Super Showdown, or a show that people didn't care about, and it's mostly rematches from that.
A show that was already a glorified house show.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
because I can't even count how
I'm
many
gonna I'm gonna try and give it the benefit of the doubt and say that it'll be better than we expect.
As long as I am not bored for 4 hours straight watching it, it'll be fun.
Keep it 3.5. It'll be fine. Anyway, that's all we got time for. Make sure to like, share this video, and subscribe so you don't miss any more of us just jibber-jabbering about wrestling.
We want to be part of the conversation. We want you to be part of the conversation.
Yeah. Comment below. Tell us what you think of the show. Tell us what you think about our thoughts.
Now, this is a wrestling community.
It is a community.
So
yeah, that's it. And we will see you next week.
For the final final decision on the Fantasy League.
Yeah.
Find out who the winner is.
Yeah, next week is the Stomping Grounds Fallout show, and that will be the end of season 1. And then we'll just chat about wrestling for a while, make it a whole wrestling show.
Make it a lot easier.
Yeah. And then one thing really quick before we get out of here. Last week we said that we were going to take some time off. That's just from the Fantasy League.
Yes.
We're still doing the podcast every week.
Yes. We still want to try and make that grow, if nothing else.
Yeah.
You know.
So.
Like.
Yeah. Okay. Now, actually, we're getting out of here. So, like I said, like, share, subscribe. If you want to hear more of us chat your ear off every week. But we'll see you next time. Peace.